bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor.
Hi, I'm Audrey Cummings. I'm the director of Berkshire County. We started Berkshire County about 2 years ago and just started hitting the festival circuit last month, the beginning of October. So we've been in the circuit for a month now. It's my first feature film and I've done 9 shorts previous to the feature. I am a huge fan of the 70s babysitter in peril movies, and so that's kind of what we were going for with this film. A Stranger Calls, Black Christmas, all those kind of Halloween, all those films is kind of our inspiration for this film. We tried to kind of go a little bit with what's happening nowadays to be current and topical with the film, with all the teenage cyberbullying going on and stuff like that. So we kind of wanted to highlight that to bring kind of a level of reality to the film of what's going on nowadays with teenagers, and it's all about cyberbullying. And so I wanted to take a twist on the babysitter in peril movies from the 70s and kind of make it newer and fresher. We started 3 years ago, and the writer Chris and I started writing the script and working on the concept and what we wanted with it. And then Chris and I actually ended up putting a lot of the movie on our line of credit. I mean, I probably totally fully maxed out on my line of credit on this film, but it's doing well, so I'm thankful and happy about it. In pre-production, I mean, we started searching for the house and completely lucked out with this house. It was a German eccentric millionaire, and he was just moving out of his house as we found it. So we ended up being able to shoot in there. And then the house actually went into foreclosure halfway through our shooting, so the sheriff came and we had to hurry up and shoot out of it. So it was quite a production process. Massive stress. When the sheriff showed up and was changing the locks on the door, we were pretty stressed, and we convinced him to let us shoot out for a couple more days before. So we're basically rewriting and changing the schedule, and yeah, it was crazy. It's a funny thing because at the time you feel disappointed when things don't go your way, but it ends up sort of kicking you into high gear because you're trying to put out fires and last minute changes. And we were lucky enough to have the writer on set. So he was rewriting on set while we were shooting, and things just turned out okay, which was so lucky for us, especially with my own money on the line, so I was really lucky. Amazing. The film is like the little film that could. It's doing really well. We had our premiere in Los Angeles at NYCHFF, and it won the Grand Jury Prize for Best Horror Feature. And from then on, it's just been doing really well at festivals, and we've been trying as much as we can to attend all the festivals and promote the film. And yeah, it's still expensive for us, but I mean, it's worth it, and it's what we've been working for. So we signed with Raven Banner for international distribution and A71 for Canadian distribution. So we're good to go. Well, I hadn't really put much thought to it until Denise from NYCHFF said that I was the first female director to win in the 14 years of the festival. Wonderful woman who knows how to support filmmakers, and she's been our biggest fan, basically helping, ever since the festival, still helping us push the film. And if you think about this year, it feels like an incredible year for women in film, because even like Sandra Bullock proving she could carry a movie by herself with Gravity, and so I think women filmmakers are coming along, and I hadn't really put much thought to it until this year, but yeah, I'm going to be completely upfront with you. There have been very big obstacles to me. A lot of the grant money we were applying for this film, behind the scenes, finding out that because I'm a female, they were maybe not so secure in providing the funding for it. Yeah, but now that the film's doing well, it's good. It's like I'm changing mentalities with it, and we're even thinking, like, I'm a sci-fi director, and I love the horror culture, and I want to do another, and the writer Chris and I have been just talking about, let's do a sequel to this film, because horror culture is so insanely amazing, and they're just wonderful people and so ready for anything. So we're kind of thinking, let's do a sequel, because I just want to be in this culture more, But this is my first time at this festival, and so far I'm loving it, and it's the same thing. It's got kind of a family atmosphere here that we also found at NYCHFF, so it's been a really good experience so far.
Hi, I'm Alysa King, and I play Kylie Winters in Berkshire County. Well, everybody goes through those awkward teenage years, right, that Kylie is going through, where you're just trying to discover who you are and how to stand up for yourself. Sometimes it's hard to be assertive without you know, like, especially when you're growing up. And me personally, I had to learn in my own life how to be assertive and aggressive and get what you want without fear of people calling you the B word. In terms of preparing for Kylie, watched a lot of Degrassi and like those teenage shows, trying to get into that mindset. And every character I do is always affected by my personal life, so a lot of those layers are already there for me in the writing. It actually was really difficult because we block shot, and everything that you see in the film, like every shot was kind of out of order. So how I dealt with that was my script was literally attached to me. It was in a nice brightly colored folder. There's tabs all over. Wrote all over the script, and it was with me all the time. And it was a bright color so I could see it and just pick it up. Yeah. So I kept that very, very close to me. And my analysis was all in there, so if I ever needed to get to a specific point and needed a refresher, then I just glanced at my script and yeah. Part of being an actor is being able to adapt and improv on the spot. So things change and you just kind of have to go with the flow. So, I mean, it was difficult to go out of order, but I knew it was already going to be out of order. It was just a matter of being like, okay, let's roll with it. I have done a leading role in a feature that hasn't been released yet, but it was a romantic comedy, so very, very different. I was the female lead, so with Berkshire County, it was really great for me because I was the lead, and that doesn't always happen with female characters. So this is my first time where my character carries the film. Actually, leading up to the shoot, I did a lot of interval training because I knew I was going to be running and exerting a lot amount of energy, like short bursts. I didn't have a stunt double, so actually there were a couple times where I got pretty exhausted throwing myself and doing things, but we had people to kind of work it out for me so I didn't get hurt, but it was very physically and emotionally exhausting. Oh my gosh, it has been such a dream, and if you came to me a year ago in April, right when we were going into shooting, and said this was going to happen to me, I wouldn't have believed you. It's just been so, so amazing to be on this festival circuit, and we've been received so well. It's so funny to watch sitting at the back of the theater and people cheer for you and boo at things, and not booing at me, thankfully not yet, but just like the cheering is hilarious and people gasping or jumping. That's really exciting for me to witness. Horror is such an amazing genre because you can do anything, you can go anywhere. I love that imagination, and I love that there's not a box, you know, like my two favorite genres. I love sci-fi, I love horror, and especially with female roles, you always get to do something really, really fun and exciting. It's really nice to go to these festivals because people are so supportive, and it does feel like such a family. It's been really, really amazing. People always come up to you afterwards and want to talk about the film, and I love that. It's been great, and this festival as well, I just can't thank everybody enough for letting us come. It's been awesome, yeah. I'm
Chris Gamble, the writer for Berkshire County. I also served as executive producer, or one of the executive producers. I work on the social media side of things, and I did a lot of the still photography as well on set. So kind of a weird mix of things. Audrey and I have actually been working together since around 2005. We've both sort of been interested in writing and directing, but she was sort of more interested in doing the directing. I was more interested in writing, so we teamed up. And so we decided, you know what, let's take a look at horror. We both really like horror as well. And so back in 2010, 2011, I started writing Berkshire County. I sort of went to her and said, here's an idea. Do you think we can do it? And then 2 years later, we said, okay, let's pull the funding together and get this made. Originally, it was set for like a 3,000 square foot house. So all of a sudden, we had this 12,000 square foot house. There's a ton of rewrites to make that work. And it was just such a picturesque location. But then all of a sudden, to have the time cut so much shorter on that, I mean, it kind of suited the film. Once things start, it just go, 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 go. So I think in the same way, it was almost like that for shooting the film. And the rug was pulled out from under us, and we just had to go and shoot it as quickly as possible. When you're in a rush, you come up with some really original ideas or original way of shooting things that you might not necessarily think of if you had all the time in the world. I think it was more of probably a blessing in most ways. Audrey may feel differently. I wasn't in the editing room. I'm sure she was scrambling for shots, knowing that she only had 1 or 2 takes of things. But looking at the end product, I mean, I think her and Mike Mason, the editor, did an amazing job of piecing together an amazing flowing and an amazing looking film. this idea of this girl who's just been knocked down so far and needing to find the strength to pull herself together and overcome these challenges. Once you find a really strong theme and a really strong character arc, then it's just building on that particular story. The idea of teen bullying and what would you need to overcome something like that in an age when cyberbullying is such a presence, and once something is online, it's there forever. So for the character of Kylie, what would she need to do to sort of feel triumphant at the end of this film, and how do you put that in perspective, I guess, in a broader perspective? So it was sort of a theme that stuck with me throughout. I think there's part of me that's in there. I mean, I think most writers can relate when they say that they're feel a little bit isolated. Those are the type of characters I like to write, are characters who are a little bit maybe out there, ostracized, and trying to find their way back in, or find their I guess their purpose in the broader world. But as well, it's just fun to come up with characters that maybe think and do things that you would never do. And I've had a few screenings where afterwards people said, you know what, Chris, I thought I knew you pretty well, and then I watched this and I sort of say, what is wrong with you? So yeah, it's fantastic to see it at film festivals. And this is the third film festival that I've been to actually get to see it with an audience. I mean, it's amazing just to feel the energy of the audience. I mean, they're so receptive, and the horror audiences are just amazing. So I think we're really appreciating that support that they're bringing to it, and it's a lot of fun. Like looking back a year and a half and thinking about, you know, actually being on set and trying to picture where it was going to be. I don't think we expected it to have this big a reach, and I mean, we're all just thrilled with how far it's come.
Let the bodies hit the floor, let the bodies